12 times animals died in the Komodo dragon's jaws. Covered with armored scales, equipped with deadly jaws, along with potent poison and strong muscular tails, Komodo dragons are extraordinarily powerful hunters. Swallowing a turtle, tearing apart a pregnant deer, and swallowing a monkey alive. Komodo dragons are ruthless and dangerous predators, not even sparing pregnant animals. Once a Komodo dragon captured a helpless pregnant deer and began eating it alive. This was certainly lunchtime for the dragon, chowing down on it, but the poor deer was going through extreme pain. The cruel dragon was completely unbothered by the moaning sounds of the deer and was immersed in satiating its hunger. A few minutes later, another dragon joined in the delicious supper and ate the deer to its bone. The larger Komodos tried to swallow the deer's head, and the other two were busy eating it piece by piece. The whole lunch was finished in less than 15 minutes. Do you want to see how super powerful Komodo dragons are? You're in the right place. This crazy Komodo dragon caught a turtle with its shell into its mouth. It was a pretty hard meal to swallow, and it would probably be much harder to digest. This fella's using ground and trees as leverage to swallow the thickest and hardest shell into its belly. One wonders what kind of digestive system this beast might be possessing that it could digest such a rocky shell. It, however, eventually swallowed the turtles after taking some help from the ground and trees, and now perhaps is the hardest time for this fella to digest it, and this is going to need a heck of an effort. It must have felt the stomach pain afterwards. What do you think? A baby buffalo was caught from its legs from behind by a Komodo dragon, and it was crying for help from its mom and dad. But couldn't do anything against the cruel predator. The baby buffalo was dragged, and then it was party time for the Komodos. All of them gathered to join in the dinner party and chowed down upon the poor baby animal and devoured it completely. These deadly creatures would eat away anything. Is it not amazing that a Komodo dragon would never choke on anything, no matter how big an animal it swallows, along with its fur, hooves, and other usually indigestible parts? As you can clearly see, this Komodo dragon is struggling to swallow a whole wild boar along with its hooves, hair, and bones. It must have a crushing machine inside its body. The lizard used a tree as leverage to push the meal downward. The wild boar was swallowed, and it was now probably sleeping time for the Komodo. A Komodo dragon was caught on camera swallowing a pig on a farm. It was literally disgusting. With jaws that flexible, it could easily swallow something of that size. It should be no wonder that it could eat its 100% food in one go. Is it not insanely crazy? Wild nature, where lives thrive on pain, suffering, and death, could at times be cruel and heartless and completely unforgiving. A goat was seized by its neck by a Komodo dragon in the most unforgiving manner. The Komodo dragons are famously regarded as strong, aggressive, and deadly hunters, hungry forever, rushing to eat food, often big animals in one go. A helpless goat became prey this time for this deadly animal, and it was dragging it down and then began swallowing it. Komodo must have gone through a lot of struggle to swallow such a huge meal, but they have never been seen choking on any animal. It's just mind-blowing. It doesn't take a meal in chunks, but takes it in one go. Komodo has attacked a water buffalo this time, and it's probably going to get a huge meal. A tidbit for you, Komodo dragons are extremely poisonous, and it could kill the prey in a few hours. The prey soon becomes weakened and eventually dies. Similarly, this water buffalo was attacked a few hours ago, and now it was weakened and could not move at all. This large lizard bit one ear of the prey and was now trying to eat another while the poor buffalo was lying helplessly on the side of the water. The predator must be the scariest animal on the surface of the earth, and the crazy part is it doesn't kill its prey before eating, making it a brutal monster of the jungle. This little Komodo dragon was on a hunting mission and found a burrow within which there was a rabbit hiding. It decided to go in and take the little rabbit out of the burrow and have mealtime. In a couple of minutes, the rabbit was off the hole and was in those deadly jaws, and it insanely gulped it into that digesting anything factory alive in a second. It was scary gobbling, but in the fashion it did was amazing too, conveying both the signal of impressiveness and horror. If you ever want to see a magic trick, look up for this one. Are you still not convinced that a Komodo dragon is a scary and frightening creature and it can either swallow or eat a live prey? A Komodo was seen devouring a dog on the bank of a river, and the dog was in pretty dreadful condition. The crows were waiting to get some meal of the day from a distance. Komodo was, however, tearing the meat from the dog with its powerful jaws. The footage is quite gruesome and gross. It's quite hard to see such a scene. A huge lizard was filmed engulfing a snake somewhere on a farm, and the snake was held tightly in those jaws of death. The snake was squirming around, but to no avail. The monster kept it in its mouth until it was certain that the snake was dead. Then it was time for swallowing. The snake might be dangerous and poisonous for other animals, but for this lizard, it was nothing but a meal. It's simply a reckless brute. This little chick, completely covered with feathers, was also chased by a Komodo dragon. It chased the poor chick for quite a time and caught it one time, but as it opened its mouth, the chick got away. Komodo was hungry and was not going to let this meal go away at any cost, so it kept chasing and caught it. And this time, it was not going to get another chance. It was swallowed in a minute. This is not just an animal, but a sulfuric factory in which everything can be dissolved, no matter how hairy, feathery, and hoovy the animal is. This everything eater has not forgiven even a bat up on a tree. The Komodo jumped up to catch the bat from a tree branch and engulfed it with all those fur and crackling bones. This was possibly the rarest moment that a Komodo caught a bat up from the tree and swallowed it alive. It was insanely crazy. A Komodo dragon was filmed on the beach swallowing a fish in one bit. Do you know that Komodo dragons are naturally avid swimmers and they can swim for hours to hunt down their prey? Luckily, this was found on the beach and it enjoyed this delicious meal without much effort. Komodo dragons are modern dinosaurs, and yes, they are pretty magnificent and yet very brutal animals on this planet. It appears that nature has never taught the lesson of mercy and forgiving to this horrible creature. Komodos well-trained and equipped hunters who are able to swallow the prey alive. A helpless monkey was caught by a Komodo in its jaws of death. Usually it doesn't happen because monkeys are quite fast runners and they can easily outrun them, but this one seemed to be an unfortunate one. However, the Komodo dragon had a good day having this monkey for dinner after a long time. The poor monkey screamed, but all was in vain and no help came from anywhere. The monkey was swallowed alive in literally no time. It might appear unsettling to watch, but you know nature is nature, and terrible things happen all the time to keep the cycle going.